All right. Hi. I wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about sharing in a group. We just did our first ever men's group just about 5 minutes ago, just ended, and had a bunch of wonderful gentlemen join the group and sharing in front of each other. And, I have been doing group programs myself and been very scared to participate in group programs in the past because sharing in front of a group can be horrifying. If you picture yourself as a kid, I think that's when we first have the moment of being in a classroom and the teacher asks us to present something in front of the room. And I don't know about you, but I was shaking the first time that happened. I probably was stuttering. I don't even know. Maybe I blacked out. But sharing in front of a group can be a very nerve-wracking thing, a very intense challenge. But I was very happy to have the men in this group share themselves, and we just had a really great conversation about masculinity, and that was the intention, is to get connected and to get out of our heads was the main theme, to get out of our heads and get connected. So I just had a fantastic conversation with some guys, and if you're curious about joining the men's groups every week, you just can click the link in my bio and join the Love for Your community. That won't be just for men, by the way, but that's how you access the men's group calls. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about sharing in a group format. I do group coaching programs for one of the key reasons that when people share in a group, there's this powerful camaraderie of, oh, I'm not the only one dealing with this thing. I see myself in them. It's such an incredible thing when you are suffering from something and you think you're the only one, and someone shares and it's almost exactly how you would share yourself. And you're like, wow, I instantly feel less intensity towards this thing. It instantly feels less challenging. That's so beautiful and only possible in a group when we get out of our heads. So that's one of the things I love about it. Also, it kind of instantly fosters the enhancement of courage. Me going online with you guys now, I did my first live. Usually I just do the videos that you see, but I did my first live maybe like 3 months ago, and now I'm doing it every week, and it feels more and more natural. The muscle of courage gets to develop, gets to grow, but that only happens through application. And I don't know if you notice or following on my content, but most of what I'm talking about is application. Most of what I'm looking to engage people in is not thinking about stuff. It's not conceptualizing things. It's being able to be a participant of our life, be a participant of our relationships, be a participant of our communication. Because I think most of us are suffering from living in our head too much. And it's one of the really awesome things about group format, group programs, I believe, is you're going to get different people dealing with similar things that just look different. And that's going to be connecting. That's going to be valuable for the whole group. So really had a great time with the guys in the men's group just now. And if you're curious about joining, click the link in my bio and you'll be welcome to be on the next men's group that'll happen next Friday at 6 p.m. PST. We might change the times up as times go on, but that's what we're doing right now. I wanted to be able to just hop in here and do some Q&A. So if you had any questions about relationships, about life, about the men's group, please go ahead and ask those questions as I riff a little bit longer about group work. Yeah, it's funny, the person we are today is almost unrecognizable by the person we used to be. I look at my own life and the fact that I'm talking to you guys live right now and have content that reaches thousands of people on a daily basis, millions of people on a monthly basis. If I would have told my old self that, I would have thought I was crazy. Like, there's no way. There's no way. And what is any result in our life is simply a matter of many, many small actions added up together over time. And so just really excited about the possibility of supporting people in a new way in group format. So just really thrilled about that. So let's check out the questions. Write in any questions you have in the chat and I will work my best to get to them. I'll stay on here for about 10 minutes or so and we'll do some chatting. Ben's asking how to navigate separating from marriage when I feel like I tried it all and I could not, and that I couldn't repair, including couples counseling and being vulnerable, accountable for my actions. How do you navigate the separation? I would argue that it has a lot to do with navigating a breakup. Any kind of breakup, whether it's marriage or whether it's in simply a romantic relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it might be. I think one of the biggest things to practice at this point in your separation is to distinguish between what you could have done and what happened. So what do I mean by that? It can be very easy to blame ourselves incessantly for a breakup. And that is painful. It is a brutal place to hang out. And it doesn't serve anybody. I am a big proponent of releasing guilt while taking aligned action. So I think for you right now, you want to look at, what can I give up blaming myself for? Okay? And as you give up blaming yourself for something, you might even give up blaming them for something. That's just going to create a little bit of space here, a little bit of lightness in this challenging time. So I would start with that. Then I would begin to look at, what is aligned action for me? And when I say aligned action, I mean action that supports me and my well-being. You start with that, I think you're going to see a few things that are going to lead to better and better. So what is it that I can give up blaming myself for? And then what's an aligned action I can take that's going to offer me some freedom, some lightness, okay? Because I hear your care for this person. Doesn't mean it has to be over. Doesn't mean this is the end, and it might mean this is the end with that person. But we want to give you a space to have a bit more power and freedom to start, and then follow the breadcrumbs from there. Thank you for the question. Andrea asks, where's a good place to meet a new man? Where do they hang out? Laugh out loud. Well, to me, the stereotypical thing is, I'm going to meet someone at a pumpkin patch. I don't think it's about the where. I don't think I could give you any advice about where you should go to meet the man you want to meet. I would instead look at how you want to be. How do I want to be? What's going to make me a magnet? How do I walk around? How do I speak? What is a way of being that's going to make me a magnet for the man that I want to be with? That's where I would invite you to look. The location is irrelevant if you're being cynical and resigned. Not saying you are, but what I'm alluding to is the importance of how we're being is way more valuable than where we are. Hence me making videos about people blaming their city for no one to be available. For those of you that are still doing that, look at how many cities think that. Maybe it's not the city, just maybe. All right, thank you for the question. So far with 4 hours. When you've been disrespected by a new love interest, at what point should you let them know? Or, sorry, there's some words misspelled here, so I'm not sure. See if they can understand what they did. Do people really change that much? So if you've been disrespected and you don't want to tolerate that, then part of what we do that is ineffective when we're disrespected is we start to blame the person or point out what they did wrong. That typically causes defensiveness and people to dig their heels in. So a new way to go about that when we're feeling disrespected or simply any boundary has been crossed in a relationship is to look at what is there to interrupt about the impact on me. So one of the most effective ways that we can create behavior change is sharing the impact of that on me. And so some language in that can be, when this happened, I felt this. When you said that, I experienced this. I had this feeling of this. It takes ownership over your feeling and begins to have them see, not always, but it can start the momentum to have them see, oh, wow, I didn't realize that when I said that, it caused that within you. Okay, so that's where I would go with that. I would start to share that first. I would let go of, can they change or should I let them go? I feel like that's a bit of a extreme. I would go more into what could be your own personal development in this moment, which is sharing the impact without blame. That would be my first place to go. Next person. I'm seeing a lot of couples looking for a third, either sexually from some polyamory. Your thoughts on this? Yeah, polyamory relationships. So, not monogamous, more than one partner. I personally have never seen it work. I've never seen it work long term. It could be also because it's rare or people don't talk about it. But I personally disagree with its effectiveness. I don't think it's going to be effective. I don't think it's valuable for people in the long run because I think you would need to have extraordinary communication and boundaries. Like I picture bringing another person into the bedroom. Okay, how are they allowed to touch you? Is everyone allowed to do the same thing? What if feelings arise? What if someone wants to break up? What if this? What if it gets just, to me, you're playing with fire. So I personally wouldn't do it, and I haven't heard anybody successfully do it in the long term. But that doesn't mean it isn't workable. I think it might just take something brand new. So I have no judgment here whatsoever. Another question. Anybody else have any questions? Just scrolling. All right, there we go. Does casual sex keep you from being open to finding true love? I don't believe in hard and fast rules here, so I wouldn't say like, yes, casual sex means you can't find love. I wouldn't say that. I would say that depending on the person, sex is going to be a more intimate act for some than others. And when we have sex in a casual format, but we are intimately involved with someone, I think that can make it difficult to meet someone new. Okay, so if you're having sex with someone and you're looking for a long-term relationship and you know it's not with that person, I think that sex could get in the way of that. Absolutely. Because of the connection being released with that person. I think it could be inhibiting the opportunities to have that long-term partner if that's what you're looking for. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but part of anything we want in life, I think, is made easier when we start to stop participating in what's not a match for that. So it's not so much of the sex, but more so looking at what is it about you that's craving that, where that might be taking away from who you could be in a relationship. So place to look from there. Corey asks, what signs will show you you're ready to start dating? The old, I need to be healed before I'm in a relationship kind of conversation. Well, here's one. If you're dating from a place of curing loneliness, like scared that to be lonely, then I would say you're not ready. A great measure might be, I feel really good being by myself. I think that's a great measure. I'm ready to start dating because I like my own company. And I'd like to add to that company. That's where I would go. I like my own company. I'm ready to add to that company. Thank you for the question, Corey. Isn't that walking around wanting to impress people? So I love that you're participating, you guys, but if you don't ask a clear question, I can't answer it. So let's step up the clarity in the questions here. Hannah asks, how do I stop obsessing over the avoidant I'm dating? He's consistent. There is a progress. Some hot and cold, but I cannot stop overanalyzing everything and it's driving me insane. So, Hannah, awesome question. This has nothing to do with your partner and what I'm hearing, everything to do with an anxious attachment style. So, what you really want to be asking is, how do I become more secure? How do I become more secure? Well, part of, you're an anxious person, you have an anxious attachment style, which I am a recovering anxious attacher. To become more secure, we need to satisfy the need within ourselves to fix things and control things. Okay, that's what's happening. You're trying to control. That's where the analyzing is coming from. And so for you to actually be in this relationship in a healthy way, it's going to take you letting go of trying to fix and control. One of the first steps we can do in that is to recognize when we're activated, which means when we're trying to fix and control, when we're activated, to pause, to not take action, to distract ourselves, to find something else to focus on. So when you find yourself trying to control this person, when you find yourself trying to fix the relationship, that's when you actually want to pause and do nothing other than something that has nothing to do with what you're trying to fix. Because if you're willing to do that, you're going to be able to sit in the anxiety. The more you can sit in the anxiety, the more powerful you become over it. That's going to help you move more towards security. So this person is a beautiful mirror for you to become more secure. I'm very excited for you. You got this. Pause is the magic word. I'm going to pause. I got to react. No, pause. I'm not thinking from a clear mind. Let myself get to a clear mind before I act. That would be the work. And I know that's not a small task. All right, let's do one or two more. Cassie asks, I came on to someone too strong. Is there any way I can get back to him? Of course. I don't even know what that means, coming on to someone too strong. Maybe you are just being yourself and they aren't a match. That's okay. If you feel like you came on too strong, you really like this person, so maybe you showed, showing your cards is not a bad thing, but maybe you said more than you wanted to at the beginning, then I would just say slow it down a bit. Don't try to fix this thing out. Don't try to control it. Think smaller steps. Smaller steps for you right now. If you really like this person and you'd like to move forward, practicing patience would be my invitation right there. So certainly a possibility to have that person back. Okay, you amazing humans. You got so many great questions now. I love when they get flowing. Casbah, cool name, asks, struggling to accept that the guy I was dating isn't ready to commit due to fear of being hurt again, finding it hard to not create stories that it must be something about me that's stopping him. Well, you're doing a great job just acknowledging what's there. Now, something we can do that helps us in these kinds of situations where we're attached to someone, that person's not ready to commit, but we are. No matter how much you like this person, whether you love this person, if they're not available for a relationship that you want, that's all the information you need. Because if you want something that person doesn't want, then you're not a match right now. And that has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with whether or not that person wants it or doesn't want it. I almost like to associate it with food. It's like getting mad at someone or trying to force someone to like olives, and they don't like olives, and you love olives. And you're like, why don't you like olives? I just don't. Yeah, but why? I mean, I eat them and I don't like them. That's all it is. It's not like the olives hurt them or anything like that. But we do that a lot in relationships, especially if we have anxious attachment style, especially if we have people-pleasing tendencies, is we try to prove our value rather than, I can't remember who said this, one of my favorite quotes in relationships. My job is not to get you to love me. My job is to see how you love and then choose whether or not I want to participate in that. That's it. And so if this person doesn't want to participate in that, it doesn't mean anything about you. It's just what's there. It's just what's there. It's what's happening. So I know that's a big deal. And I encourage you. I mean, I'm giving off the cuff, advice here, off the cuff questions in a live right now. If you really want to have incredible breakthroughs in anything to do with relationships, sign up for a discovery call with my team and you can learn about the programs I offer. That would be my obvious answer to almost every one of these questions. I know that can be scary for you guys. I know that can be overwhelming. So this is why I do these lives, to help warm up and possibly create momentum in that direction. So thank you for that question. I'm going to leave it there. You guys asked a bunch of questions. I'm sorry I didn't get to the rest of them, but you're so amazing. Why are you amazing? Because you're on this live committed to having great relationships. That's amazing. Bar none, that's amazing. So I just so acknowledge you for your commitment to love and connection and wanting to be great partners, wanting to have great partnerships. It's a beautiful thing. It makes the world a better place. So thank you so much for who you are and how you're continuing to develop yourself. Sending you love and talk to you later.